Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and today I'm reviewing the expansion for A Message from the Stars, Extinction Protocol, or otherwise, they're aliens. It felt appropriate. Now it just feels strange. Anyways, Extinction Protocol is an expansion for A Message from the Stars. A Message from the Stars is a deduction game, teamwork or competitive deduction game for people who like, math. That's the idea. You're trying to pass clues back and forth between the aliens and the human researchers in order to figure out how to communicate with each other. You can either do this as a cooperative game, one alien versus as many researchers as you want, or you can do it as a team game, multiple aliens versus multiple researchers trying to communicate better and faster than the other players to the team as far as what your message is. The way you're going to do that is you're going to slot cards, numbers, into these various boards, giving you your specific letters that you're trying to communicate. But you're also trying to communicate messages based on these cards over here, where each team is going to have a clue they're trying to get the team to guess. You're going to roll a die and then decide, for example, maybe I'm trying to get sweet and then cough and then dance. And also the fun part is at the end of the game, you get to do things like, unfortunately, we are allergic to your sweet gopher. It causes us to cough and dance. That's like, those are funny little things you can do. So you're trying to communicate that, and then the other team is going to see this card at the end of the game, so they'll know that it's one of these six, one of these six, and one of these six, but you have to communicate that through your words while also using those words to figure out what the actual code is. So you only have 4 chances to go ahead and pass things back and forth. With those 4 words, you are figuring out a mathematical puzzle and communicating, you know, sweet, cough, and what was it, itch, dance, whatever, cough and dance, I think it was. I can't remember what it was already. That's the basic idea of the game. I'm not going fully into how to play the base game because you're watching an expansion review. I assume if you are here, you have either already played the base game or already watched mine or somebody else's video on the base game, because who watches expansion reviews without having some idea what the base game is? If you're that person, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to see it. Also, I should have said this a little bit earlier before we were like 2 minutes into the video, but AllPlay is a channel sponsor. AllPlay makes this game. They sponsor the channel. While they do not sponsor reviews or guide me what to do, and I am very free about what I say, you obviously have to trust that I am willing and able to overcome that bias, so you get to decide whether this video is of any value to you. I just want to make sure you have the information, and with that, we have a cat. This is the alien, by the way. Anyways, Extinction Protocol is going to add a few new things. It's going to add a giant cat to your box. It doesn't fit in this box, but it's one of those things. This is bigger on the inside. Your copy may not come with a cat, just letting you know. My copy also didn't come with a cat. The other things it adds is it adds more of these cards. So these cards over here, all these communication cards, it adds more. So if you're running out of all these fun little messages, there's more of these cards. Each side is going to choose one random card. I will say, small little nitpick, there's nothing that I could find, maybe I can't find it, but there's no markings to distinguish the base game versus the expansion, which is not a big deal, but I always do appreciate those regardless. Like, there's no reason why you'd want to separate them out, except if you are trading or selling one of those things. But even that reason enough is a reason for me that I like having the ability to have things separated out. Small little negative against that. I don't actually care in my case. I just think that's a good thing to have in any game. Always mark all expansion components with an expansion icon. I don't believe that was done here. I could be wrong. Also, I didn't wipe these off last time I played. No, I didn't wipe these off. That was a mistake. I need to go ahead and give me 1 second to, the last time I played this game, I didn't mark my symbols off, which means they stay a little longer than they should because they come off much faster if you do it right away. Those little white marks, were me. Anyway, so the first thing it adds new card variety. So if you want card variety, amazing, excellent. We'll talk about my thoughts later. I'm going to tell you what they add first. The second thing it adds is this is going to be the rule you have when you're playing the game. There's a mathematical rule for what the letters do. For example, each letter in your trust score adds 1, each letter in your amplify score multiplies by 2, and if you have your suspicion letter, it makes the word negative. You're using these clues to figure out what the actual communication protocol is. But now we have these new cards over here that are going to change that. So for example, over here, we now have things like, oh, our suspicion is now 0 if present instead of negative. Our amplify might be +3 instead of multiplying. And our trust might be +2. You have different words, different ways to change the rules in play so that you're not playing with the same exact mathematical formula you were in the original game. So that's going to add up a few different ways. There's 3 for each type. So there's 3 trust varieties, 3 amplify varieties, and 3 suspicions. In fact, I'll show you them all because why not? So amplify could be +3, or it could be ×2, which is the base, or it can be -2, which can really throw you off when you have multiple, because multiple negatives come back to a positive. That one's going to throw you off the most. Trust could be 2, It's plain and simple. Trust is 2 if present. That can be really hard to play with if you're used to trust being the most reliable step indicator. Or it can be +2, or it can be the original +1. Suspicion could be 0, or it could be the original negative, or it could be -2 for each present. Again, these are all going to completely throw you off, and having something like, a trust score of 2, an amplify of times -2, a suspicion of -2, completely throws off your game if you're used to the original game. And the last thing it adds a new mode called Hostile Alien. Hostile Alien, we'll talk about my thoughts about this after. Hostile Alien is a new way to play where you don't know which of the rules are in play. The basic way you play is you add these cards, but you know which ones they are. So we both know that suspicion is -2 for each present. Great. But there's a way to play with Hostile Alien, where there's 3 possible rules for each of them. The alien knows the rules, but you, as the researchers, do not. So sure, you know what the possible options are, but you have to figure out, was the negative number? Well, that means one of the 3 negative rules are in play. You have to kind of piece together information using the same number of limited clues that you had in the original game. So Hostile Alien is truly a hostile edition. Which brings me my thoughts on the expansion. Do you need this? Do you not? Should you get this? Let's talk about all the various things. First and foremost, these cards. More variety is nice to have. Do you need this? I don't think you need this unless you're playing the game a lot. I certainly did not need this. Like, you can play the same cards in the base game multiple times. There's still a lot of variety to experience, but don't get me wrong, I am happy to have it. All of it is, hey, if you're putting a little expansion together with a few additional elements, why not throw some more cards in? My favorite part is the messages, reading the messages. Unfortunately, we are allergic. Oh, I already did that one. As the prophecy foretold, one day, a talented hero would save us all with their fashion. I love these messages. It's my favorite part of the game, honestly. It's not my favorite. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. So more cards, nice to have. I don't think you really need it. The rules changes, those are very nice. I still don't think you need this if you're playing this game very infrequently, but it is nice to have that different shift in the way you're thinking, and if you're playing it slightly more than infrequently, that's definitely nice to have. As opposed to having a rigid rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, you really have this different way to approach it, okay? We do have negative numbers. We don't. We have turn 0. We have +2. We have =2. There's so many different configurations of the 3 rules. I would like to see a few more rules. Like, I almost wish, because the problem is you get 3 rules, but really 3 of them are in the original base game. I would have liked to see even 3 new rules for 4 total. That would have really mixed things up, although with Hostile Alien would have been a nightmare. But yeah, I like it. I wish there was a bit more. It's not necessary, but it really does add to the game state. I don't think I would ever play without the configuration of randomized rules, even for new players. It's because again, even for a new player, any set of rules is just a set of rules. It's reapproaching the game. You have less of an opportunity to get better, meaning as a new player to the game, your second play of Message of the Stars is like, oh, I'm starting to get it. But if you do have these rules, your second play is like, okay, I thought I was starting to get it, but we're already mixing things up. Again, I like it. I think it's great. Very happy with that module. Hostile Alien, and this might be different for different players. For me personally, Hostile Alien is a exercise in how could anyone possibly do this while getting everything. It elevates your maximum score to 15 because now you're really trying to figure out all the rules in play as well. So even just guessing which rule is in play adds another point. The way the game works is you get a point for each correct guess on each side. That's 3 points, 3 points. Then there's 6 letters in play. That's 6 points for a total perfect score of 12. And now you have figured out the rule for 3 more points. But the problem is not those 3 points. The problem is you have to figure out the rules to figure out everything else. And doing so with only 4 guesses back and forth, this is for those of you who are absolute geniuses in this game. My biggest complaint about the expansion is it adds new cards, which is nice to have, but not necessary, a new module, which is great, and then a mode for those of you who are absolute experts at this game. I imagine there are people who do this. I am not in those people, and I don't know anyone who's in those people. To me, Hostile Alien is purely a mode for, do you want to see how brutal this game can be? Let's play it with that. And so because of that, the expansion just kind of feels like it's some content, some more content for really, really expert players, and that's about it. Although I'm curious if my just level's just not where it needs to be. Maybe that's the case. Maybe this is just a me problem. So, overall thoughts on the expansion. I rate games based on games, and I rate expansions not based on what the overall game is, but rather what the expansion adds to the table. As far as the expansion, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5, and honestly, I wonder if that's generous. No, the problem is I like the rules. I like the rule adjustments over here. This is a really solid addition to the game, so I'm going to give the expansion a 3.5 out of 5. As far as, hey, this is something that will cost you money. What does it add? Is it worth it? Overall, it definitely improves the game. You're getting more variety, a mode which most people won't use in my opinion, I could be wrong, and a mode which most people will use and improves the game experience. So this does improve A Message from the Stars just as far as an expansion, it feels like I almost would have been happier if they had just charged, literally, like if they had said, hey, here's a $5 card expansion for the game and it's just these. I feel that possibly would have been a better use as opposed to putting it in a box and giving you a whole bunch of extra stuff that less people can benefit as much. So a 3.5 out of 5 as far as expansion, but it does make the game better. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. I hope you found this review helpful, and as always, I hope you have a good one.